The Grey's Anatomy universe just got a major expansion. ABC has officially announced R.J. Decker, a new crime drama that reunites Station 19 star Jaina Lee Ortiz and Grey's Anatomy's Scott Speedman, marking their first collaboration since the iconic Grey's/Station 19 crossover. Based on Carl Hiaasen's best-selling 1987 novel Double Whammy, the series follows R.J. Decker, Speedman, a former photojournalist and ex-con who reinvents himself as a private investigator in the wild world of South Florida. His cases are bizarre, dangerous, and deeply personal, especially when he reconnects with people from his past, including Emmy Ochoa Ortiz, the sharp and volatile daughter of a corrupt state senator. The show is created by Rob Doherty, with Hiaasen himself joining as executive producer alongside Carl Beverly and Sarah Timberman. The cast also includes Kevin Rankin, Bevan Brew, and Adelaide Clemens. This project marks another bold move for ABC, blending crime, dark humor, and complex relationships, and it's extra exciting for fans of Grey's Anatomy and Station 19, who will get to see Ortiz and Speedman back on screen together after their short but memorable crossover. Meanwhile, in the Grey's Anatomy world, fans are bracing for an emotional season 22 mid-season finale, where Joe Wilson's fate hangs in the balance, and rumors swirl about a possible shocking exit. Between the R.J. Decker reunion, Grey's Anatomy's ongoing heartbreaks, and Jesse Williams' return to ABC in Shifting Gears, it's clear the Shondaland legacy is stronger than ever. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest TV updates, cast news, and all things Grey's Anatomy. Hey lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Grey's Anatomy Official. Grey's Anatomy and Station 19 stars uniting for ABC's TV adaptation of best-selling author's book. Station 19's Jaina Lee Ortiz is teaming up with her former Grey's Anatomy co-star Scott Speedman once more for an upcoming ABC show titled R.J. Decker. Speedman will star in the show, and Ortiz will be a series regular. R.J. Decker is a crime drama that was inspired by Double Whammy, a novel written by Carl Hiaasen in 1987. The series will follow its titular character, Speedman, a former photojournalist and ex-convict who reinvents himself as a private investigator after he served his sentence. The story takes place in South Florida, where he takes on some of the strangest cases. Decker teams up with his past girlfriend, who is still a journalist, her wife, who is a detective in the police force, and a mysterious woman from his past who could either help him succeed or send him straight back to prison. Ortiz will portray Emmy Ochoa, the daughter of a deceitful state senator who is closely connected to Decker's past. Emmy is described as very sharp and volatile. The character was originally supposed to be named Shay Bennett, and Warush Opia was initially cast for the role. However, it was announced in September 2025 that they were looking for a new actor. The series is created by Rob Doherty, Elementary. The author of the source material, Hiaasen, will serve as an executive producer, as well as Carl Beverly, Fleischman is in Trouble, and Sarah Timberman, Lonely Planet. Aside from Ortiz and Speedman, R.J. Decker will also star Kevin Rankin, Aloysius Wish Aiken, Bevan Brew, Melody Mel Romero, and Adelaide Clemens, Catherine Delacroix. Ortiz and Speedman starred in 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy together. The two crossed paths during a crossover between the medical drama and its spin-off series Station 19. Ortiz starred as a firefighter named Andy Herrera in the latter, while Speedman played transplant surgeon Dr. Nick Marsh in the flagship show. The most meaningful moments for queer women on Grey's Anatomy. A season 21 spelled the end for one of Grey's Anatomy's longest-lasting couples. It opened the door to an exciting new chapter in the heart surgeon's life, the chance to explore her feelings for and attraction to another woman. And while it may still be in its early days, Teddy and Cass' budding relationship is already proving to be one of Grey's Anatomy's most meaningful storylines around queer womanhood. While all of TV and film still has a ways to go when it comes to representation of all kinds, Grey's has featured so many impactful moments over the years for LGBTQ+ women. Let's revisit some of the very biggest, from Erica Hond tearfully embracing her queerness to Arizona standing up to Callie's homophobic dad. Callie kissing Erica. Season 4, Episode 17, Freedom, Part 2. It wasn't the first kiss between the women that occurred in the elevator with a wide-eyed Mark watching, but it was the most important. After struggling to come to terms with her attraction to another woman, Callie finally worked up the courage to show Erica exactly how she felt, starting a pivotal romance for them both. Erica realizing she's so extremely gay. Season 5, Episode 6, Life During Wartime. For Callie, sleeping with Erica for the first time was a fun romp, but for the heart surgeon, it was a life-changing experience. In an emotional speech, Erica compared being with a woman after only being with men to getting glasses after a lifetime of not seeing properly, a powerful sentiment understood by anyone who has come out later in life. Unfortunately, the intensity of Erica's post-sex reaction freaked Callie out, but it was still a hugely poignant moment. Arizona kissing Callie. Season 5, Episode 14, Beat Your Heart Out. After Erica left Seattle, Callie was a sad, lonely mess with major doubts about her romantic appeal to men or women. So, when the cute new pediatric surgeon interrupted her crying session to promise that people would be lining up to date her and kissed her to prove it, it majorly boosted Callie's confidence and marked the start of Grey's Anatomy's biggest queer female relationship to date. Callie coming out to her dad and cutting him off. Season 5, Episode 20, Sweet Surrender. As so often is the case in real life, Callie's brave decision to come out to her conservative family had bittersweet results. On the one hand, it led to a massive argument with her father, Carlos, and the decision to end their relationship. On the other hand, it showed just how much she valued her blossoming relationship with Arizona and Callie's own excitement in exploring her queer identity. Arizona helping Callie and her dad reunite. Season 6, Episode 5, Invasion. A while after their big blow-up, Callie's dad returned to Seattle to make amends, but only if she basically agreed to pray away the gay with the help of a priest. To no one's shock, Callie didn't react well to that offer, leading to another emotional fight between the family members. But when Arizona reminded her future father-in-law that Callie was still the same caring, strong person he raised her to be, Carlos relented and gave the duo his begrudging blessing, causing the rift to finally end. Callie and Arizona getting married. Season 7, Episode 20, White Wedding. Callie and Arizona's journey to the altar may have been challenging, to say the least. A proposal during a car accident turned musical episode wasn't even the half of it, but it ended with a beautiful wedding. From Mark emotionally walking Callie down the aisle to Bailey gleefully pronouncing the women wife and wife, the wedding was an unforgettable affair, even if the doctor's marriage ultimately came to an end. Teenage girls earning their parents' support. Season 12, Episode 1, Sledgehammer. There have been a number of affecting LGBTQ+ patient storylines on Grey's over the years, but this one involving two teenage girls in a train crash was particularly powerful. While the lovers' parents were initially disapproving of their relationship, they eventually came around, with help from Callie and Maggie, and reminded their daughters of their unconditional love. Teddy finally grieving for her late ex-love. Season 16, Episode 19, Love of My Life. In this pivotal Grey's Anatomy episode, we learn that Teddy was once in love with her roommate Allison, who was tragically killed in the September 11th attacks. Through flashbacks, the duo's romance was shown to be short-lived but powerful, impacting Teddy so much that she named her daughter after her former lover. Watching Teddy apologize to Allison's previous girlfriend Claire for stealing her, before bonding with Claire over their shared love for the late woman, was so moving. Amelia explaining how she feels for Kai. Season 18, Episode 17, I'll Cover You. The addition of the non-binary Dr. Kai to Grey's Anatomy was a huge deal for LGBTQ+ representation and led to so many impactful moments, including an in-love Amelia telling Teddy how dating Kai made her think beyond labels and feel more like herself than ever before. The neurosurgeon's beautiful sentiment and the Kai storyline overall resonated deeply with so many viewers. Mika and Jules comforting each other. Season 20, Episode 10, Burn It Down. The most meaningful moment in Mika and Jules' too short affair came before they even slept together. After their patient tragically died, the pair comforted each other with an intimacy, which included a near kiss, that showed just how well suited they were for each other, and fans' thrilled reactions made it clear how much we all wanted to see their burgeoning romance take flight. Grey's Anatomy Season 22, Episode 6. Could Joe Wilson be the next to die? Here's everything the mid-season finale brings. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 is gearing up for an emotional fall finale with Episode 6, When I Crash, airing November 13th, 2025. As Joe Wilson and Teddy Altman face life-threatening crises, recent reports hint at a possible major character exit, sparking concern over Joe's health and Camilla Luddington's future. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 is moving toward a powerful and emotional mid-season point. The upcoming episode, When I Crash, set to air on November 13th, 2025, is already being called one of the most dramatic episodes yet. Reports suggest that both Joe Wilson and Teddy Altman will be fighting for their lives, turning Grey Sloan Memorial into a place of heartbreak and chaos. The episode seems ready to deliver the kind of shocking, tearful twist that has made the show famous over the years. The excitement and fear among fans are growing because of one question: is the show about to lose another main character? Joe Wilson's health crisis in Grey's Anatomy Season 22. More stories on Grey's Anatomy Season 22. When does Grey's Anatomy Season 22 come back in 2026? Full recap, release schedule, and everything fans must know. In the latest storyline, Joe Wilson is shown struggling with a life-threatening condition while being pregnant with twins. Her heart is failing, and the situation seems to be worsening as the episode heads toward its climax. Reports suggest that the writers could be using this plot to show the emotional side of motherhood under crisis, a theme the show has explored before with Meredith Grey's near-death experience. This choice could take Joe's story to a deeper and more emotional place, showing how she faces fear, pain, and hope all at once. But it also raises a worrying question. Could this be Joe's final chapter? Camilla Luddington's future on the show remains unclear. Many fans are wondering if this storyline means Camilla Luddington is leaving Grey's Anatomy. According to the reports, her character's medical struggle could be written as a reason for her to step back temporarily. The show could choose to let Joe survive, but take time away from Grey Sloan for recovery or motherhood. This would give the actress space for a short break while still keeping her character part of the Grey's Anatomy world. But as of now, there is no official statement from ABC or Luddington confirming any exit. Grey's Anatomy's signature mid-season cliffhanger. If there's one thing Grey's Anatomy is known for, it's shocking cliffhangers, and this fall finale looks no different. Based on reports, Episode 6 will likely end with a heartbreaking scene that leaves viewers unsure whether Joe survives childbirth. The tension is expected to reach its peak in the hospital as doctors, including Ben Warren and Winston Dugu, try to save Joe and her babies. Their emotional reactions and determination could make this one of the most intense hospital scenes the show has delivered in years. Joe Wilson's journey may change forever. Whether Joe lives or dies, it's clear that her story is about to change forever. The complications from her heart condition and pregnancy create a situation that could transform how she sees life and work. If she survives, she might choose to step away from surgery for a while, a move that fits both her character's growth and the emotional tone of the season. Her possible break could also show Joe learning to balance her role as a mother and doctor, bringing in a new, hopeful arc for future episodes. Jesse Williams joins Tim Allen's ABC sitcom Shifting Gears after Grey's Anatomy return. Jesse Williams is remaining at ABC after his surprise return to Grey's Anatomy, with a recurring role on Tim Allen's Shifting Gears. Williams, 44, will appear in the second half of Season 2, according to Variety. His character, Andy, is described as a single dad who frequents Riley's coffee cart and has eyes for Riley too. Williams is likely playing Kat Dennings' love interest, which would further complicate Riley's secret feelings for Gabriel, Sean William Scott. The characters of Arizona and April are permanently woven into the fabric of Grey's Anatomy thanks to the extraordinary work of Jessica Capshaw and Sarah Drew. Then showrunner Krista Vernoff said in a statement at the time, "As writers, our job is to follow the stories where they want to go, and sometimes that means saying goodbye to characters we love. It has been a joy and a privilege to work with these phenomenally talented actresses." During Season 17, Jackson moved to Boston to take over his family's foundation, and April joined him with their daughter, Harriet. "I directly impacted the dialogue, especially the episode a couple of weeks ago with me going to find my dad. I was directly involved in all of that language," Williams told Entertainment Weekly at the time about helping create his exit. "I know the character as well as anybody. People come and go. Some writers come and go, directors come and go, but I'm that character all day, every day. So it's just really beautiful for that to be acknowledged and to feel included. It's a privilege." why Grey's Anatomy fans are convinced Sandra Oh could return to the show for season 22. The beloved actress may be stepping back into the world of Grey Sloan Memorial, if Instagram has anything to say about it. Grey's Anatomy is airing season 22 episodes every Thursday night on ABC. Longtime fans think they spotted a clue about actress Sandra Oh returning to Grey's Anatomy for season 22 in 2025. Sandra previously spoke about the idea of returning to Grey's Anatomy in June 2025. Grey's Anatomy has been on the air since 2005, and it's hard not to miss some of the original characters we met way back in the day. While viewers still get to see fan favorites like Ellen Pompeo and Chandra Wilson, many still hope Sandra Oh will come back to the ABC drama. Sandra portrayed Dr. Christina Young, and her role was an essential part of Grey's Anatomy for the first 10 seasons. And while fans remember Christina's final moments on the show, and know she's been mentioned over the years, they haven't physically seen her character, and subsequently Sandra, at Grey Sloan since then. Well, some viewers seem to think this may change, thanks to something ex-user at Grey's TV News spotted on social media. After noticing that Grey's Anatomy's official social team started following Sandra on Instagram, the user's followers' hopes were raised about the possibility of Sandra Oh returning to Grey's Anatomy in 2025. How to watch Grey's Anatomy Season 22, Episode 5 for free without cable. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 continues with Episode 5 on Thursday, November 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. Cord cutters can sign up for Fubo 5-day free trial or DirecTV 5-day free trial to stream the episode live and on demand. What are the differences between the streaming services? Fubo offers one of the widest selections of channels among live TV streaming services. More than 230 channels, including all the sports and entertainment you love, plus sports add-ons for those niche networks you rely on, and it all starts with a 5-day free trial and $30 off the first month of service. What is Grey's Anatomy about? The long-running series is a high-intensity medical drama following a team of doctors at Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital who are faced with life-or-death decisions on a daily basis. They seek comfort from one another, and at times, more than just friendship. Together, they discover that neither medicine nor relationships can be defined in black and white. Who is in the cast of Grey's Anatomy? The following cast are returning for Season 22. Ellen Pompeo as Meredith Grey. Chandra Wilson as Miranda Bailey, James Pickens Jr. as Richard Webber, Kevin McKidd as Owen Hunt, Kim Raver as Teddy Altman, Camilla Luddington as Joe Wilson, Katarina Scorsone as Amelia Shepard, Jason George as Ben Warren, Chris Carmack as Atticus Lincoln, Anthony Hill as Winston Digu, Scott Speedman as Nick Marsh, Alexis Floyd as Simone Griffith, Harry Shum Jr. as Benson Kwan, Adelaide Kane as Jules Millen, Nico Taro as Lucas Adams. Grey's Anatomy's Season 9 release schedule. Grey's Anatomy releases new episodes weekly on Thursdays, and Season 22 is expected to have 18 episodes, same as last season. The series typically takes a break during the winter and resumes in the spring. Last year's mid-season finale was on November 21st, and the series resumed on March 6th. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 Episode 5 Recap. Simone's patient gets personal. Things get personal for Simone in Grey's Anatomy Season 22 Episode 5, as her patient has photos with her mom. Meanwhile, Blue and Jules may get another look at how much the healthcare system fails many people. Caution: this post contains spoilers from Grey's Anatomy Season 22 Episode 5. We open with all the doctors at work, before seeing Link and Joe catching up with each other. It opens the door to the conversation about the twins being baptized, and while Joe told Link's mom to wait 8 weeks, Link thinks they should wait until the twins are 18. That's sure to come up soon. Meanwhile, Blue and Jules are at Bailey's clinic, and they get the job to follow up with all the patients who missed their appointments. Blue notices one of the patients has a prescription that is out of date, and this patient had been in hospital for ketoacidosis just a few months back. This is a concern for him, and we know from the promo how that will play out. Joe helps a difficult patient in Grey's Anatomy Season 22 Episode 5. Since the OB is out, Joe is called in to help with a patient. I'm all for women giving birth the way they want to, but sometimes the birth plan has to go out of the window. In this case, it probably needs to completely change, as the baby is breech, coming out feet first, and it's highly unlikely that she can have the natural birth she really wants. Meanwhile, Simone meets her patient, who is a transfer from elsewhere. Simon is the one to ask for specific tests, as the new intern has no idea what he's really doing. So, as the kid rushes out, the patient asks Simone to put her photos up on the table. That's when Simone comes across a photo of her mom. Who is this woman? Blue and Jules make a house call. Blue proves that he deeply cares about some of his patients, and one of them is the patient who has skipped out on her appointment. As Jules pushes for a ride home, it's clear that Blue has thought of something else. Blue and Jules get to Mercedes's house, and it's clear from the panicked Spanish of Mercedes's mom that something is wrong. Did we know that Blue could speak fluent Spanish? I feel like that came out of nowhere. But whatever, he is able to communicate with Mercedes' mom to get into the house, and that's when they see that there is a problem. Mercedes gets up to get a drink for her guests, but ends up collapsing. Meanwhile, we learn that Simone's patient was a friend of her mom's. In fact, they were best friends, but after her mom's death, the friend fell out of touch with every other member of the family. Lucas comes into the room to switch shifts with Simone, and it's easy to see that things are frosty between them. Simone is likely to get some advice from this woman who could have been part of her life had her mom not died. Joe and Link start their discussion about baptism, with Link questioning Joe going to church or believing in God. To be honest, the idea of Joe wanting to baptize the children does seem a little odd, and this is a conversation that needs to continue. However, it's time for Joe to flip the stubborn baby. Simone learns a little more about her mom. Despite supposedly at the end of her shift, Simone decides to take over on Ms. Evans from Lucas. Of course she does. With the personal connection she's just made, she needs this patient to survive. It certainly offers a chance for Simone to get to know a little more about her mom, including some stories that her dad wouldn't tell her. Simone isn't the only one taking things personal, though. Blue and Jules continues to treat their patient Mercedes. As Jules catches her foot, the real situation comes to light. The cut on her foot is seriously infected, and it needs hospital treatment. However, Mercedes finds every reason not to go, and so Blue gets her to at least let him treat her with an antibiotic to see if it will help. Blue and Jules don't judge, but there is a shocking moment when the toe literally falls off while Blue is trying to clean out the area. The argument between Link and Joe continues. Link spends his time coming up with reasons not to baptize the twins, and Joe is annoyed that he won't listen to her. The two are as bad as each other at this point. This is one of those situations they need to agree on, and they need to listen to each other about what they both want. The argument can't continue, though, as Joe has another fight on her hands. The difficult mom-to-be continues to refuse medications and a C-section, despite it being clear that this baby is being too stubborn to turn. As Joe lets out her frustration, the mom-to-be states she wants her husband. Well, that would be great, except that her husband died 3 months earlier, and this is likely why she wants to focus on the birth plan so much. She's likely terrified she will die and leave her baby orphaned. Blue and Jules call in the only help they can. Jules and Blue discuss the situation with Mercedes quietly, as with the toe falling off. It's clear that this is a diabetic foot infection. This likely means she will lose more than just her toe. However, she continues to refuse to go to the hospital, and the full truth finally comes out. Mercedes lost her immigration status, and if she goes to the hospital, ICE will come and get her. Blue wants to help, but he knows that calling 911 would be drastic. However, Mercedes needs a hospital. Of course, Blue called Bailey, who brought an ambulance with her, and while Bailey isn't happy with Blue, she will do what she can for Mercedes. We get to see the fear of families being dragged apart, even though everyone is just trying to do the best thing for Mercedes. Back at the hospital, Simone isn't happy to find out that her dad lied about her mom, but Ms. Evans makes it clear that Simone's dad didn't completely lie. The woman was a straight-A student, but she was also a bit of a partier. I guess there's a bit of anger from Simone in the way that she had to grow up in her mom's shadow. Now it's time to find out why Miss Sims wasn't around when Simone was being born. It turns out that she was accepted at school in Paris, and Simone's mom wanted her to go. Nobody really thought that there would have been a problem, but she has always regretted going, because she would have advocated for Simone's mom if she was there. Meanwhile, Joe is with her patient, who is finally letting go of some of the ideas that she came in with. There's a chance for this woman to grieve, and she's able to explain that she's scared of the baby being born because of how much she has lost. However, this baby wants to be born, and Joe needs to help both mom and baby. Simone finally opens up. Things with Simone's patient had taken a scary turn, but with some oxygen, things looks like there's hope. It gives Simone more time to get to know more about her mom. Something that this episode offers is for Simone to let out all the guilt she's always felt for being the reason her mom died. It all comes from her sister, who has always blamed her, despite it not being her fault at all. Ms. Evans makes it clear that Simone needs to let go of her guilt and live her life. With surgery prepped for the morning, Simone is finally able to tell Lucas who Ms. Evans is. However, that's when things take a drastic turn. As Grey's Anatomy always does well, with the emotional storyline at an end, it's time to deliver some heartbreak. Simone has only just met her mom's best friend, and now she won't get any more stories as her patient dies. Back at Mercedes's house, Jules uncomfortably tries to comfort the son, while Blue and Bailey work on Mercedes's foot in the ambulance. Bailey admits that she's mad, but not at Blue and not at being called in for Mercedes. She's mad at the system that has led to people being scared to leave their homes. People are going to lose their lives because of this fear, and she's right. As for the hospital, Joe has no choice with her patient but to order a C-section. The baby isn't turning and the heart rate is dropping, which means they need to get the baby out now. It looks like the pregnant mom may be in luck, though, as with one final attempt, Joe is able to turn the baby. There's finally a chance to have a natural birth. A bittersweet ending for many. There is a little bit of hope for Mercedes. She will get to keep her foot as long as she looks after the wound and keeps on top of her medication. And in some good news for Blue and Jules, they're not fired. Bailey is glad that they did what they did, but next time, they need to tell her. Back at the hospital, Simone is heartbroken at the loss of her patient. Weber clearly thinks that she's taking it hard because she was on Ms. Evans's care all night, but there's so much more to it. At the end of the episode, Simone decides to call her grandmother, who thinks that she's talking to her daughter because of the Alzheimer's. There's a feeling of connection even with that disappointment that she's not in a lucid state. As for Joe and Link, Joe wakes him up with the good news that the baby has been delivered. Now she wants to know what the deal with the baptism really is, and it's because while dealing with cancer, he always questioned why God would allow children be sick with cancer. He continues to question God because of what is going on in the world. Meanwhile, Joe believes the opposite, and she felt comforted in prayer when Link was recovering from the explosion. They'll have to keep this discussion going later, because they're both tired. The ending of the episode sees Jules rushing back into the hospital, where she runs into Winston, who is preparing for some public speaking, something that he hates to do. She decides to hand him the toy dinosaur that Mercedes' son gave her, but he decides not to take it. These two are just so cute, and I don't think that Jules even realizes there are feelings there just yet. Not feelings that she's ready to agree are there. Revisiting Grey's Anatomy's most shocking cast departures, and how their characters were written off. Several characters have come and gone through the doors of Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital since Grey's Anatomy first premiered in March 2005. The pilot of the ABC series, which made history in February 2019 as the longest-running primetime medical drama on American television, introduced 5 surgical interns: Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, Christina Young, Sandra Oh, Izzy Stevens, Katherine Heigl, George O'Malley, T.R. Knight, and Alex Karev, Justin Chambers, at then Seattle Grace Hospital for their first 48-hour shift. 22 seasons later, there have been plenty of promotions, romances, heartbreaks, and as all viewers know, catastrophic events. With each dramatic turn the show has taken, several fan-favorite characters have been written off the show. Now, only 3 of the original characters remain, including Chandra Wilson as Dr. Miranda Bailey, James Pickens Jr. as Dr. Richard Weber, and Pompeo as Dr. Meredith Grey, though she shockingly stepped down as a series regular in 2023. Below, here's a look back at Grey's Anatomy's most shocking departures. Warning: Grey's Anatomy spoilers ahead. Ellen Pompeo, Dr. Meredith Grey. After nearly 2 decades of heartbreak, laughter, and a whole lot of medical emergencies, Pompeo hung up her white coat and stepped away from Grey's Anatomy in 2023, though not entirely. In her final episode, I'll Follow the Sun, which aired February 23, 2023, fans watched as Meredith walked through her final day at Gray Sloan Memorial and prepared to move her family to Boston. The episode picked up after Meredith's decision to leave Seattle for New England, where she accepted a position with the Catherine Fox Foundation to research Alzheimer's disease. Ahead of the episode, Pompeo had already stepped back from the series to pursue outside projects, including Orphan. During a December 2022 appearance on The Drew Barrymore Show, Pompeo opened up about her reduced role, saying that she has to mix it up a little bit. "I feel super happy, but listen, the show has been incredible to me, and I've loved a lot of the experience," she shared. "I'm 53. My brain is like scrambled eggs. I gotta do something new, or I'm literally gonna turn into, someone who can't do the New York Times crossword puzzle every single day." The actress still serves as the series' primary narrator and is now a recurring guest star. In April 2025, Pompeo told Elle Pace that she doesn't plan to fully exit the medical drama because she is so intertwined with the show's success. "That would make no sense, emotionally or financially," Pompeo said. "If I were to walk away completely, everybody gets to make money from my hard work for 20 years and I wouldn't make any money." She added, "To me, it doesn't make any sense that everybody else gets to profit off of my hard work. And emotionally, the show means a lot to people. I want to have an attitude of gratitude toward the show." Katherine Heigl, Dr. Izzy Stevens. After numerous leaves of absence from the show, Heigl exited for good when her character, Izzy, moved out of Seattle in Season 6. Her departure followed comments she made shading the creative team when she withdrew her name from Emmy consideration and told the New York Times that she did not feel that I was given the material this season to warrant the nomination. In a 2016 interview on The Howard Stern Show, Heigl revealed she went to speak with the show's creator and head writer after realizing that her comments might have offended the writers on the show. "I went in because I was really embarrassed," she told Stern. "So I went into Shonda and said, 'I'm so sorry. That wasn't cool. I should not have said that. I shouldn't have said anything publicly, but at the time, I didn't think anybody would notice. I didn't know that journalists would see who submitted and who didn't. I just quietly didn't submit, and then it became a story, and then I felt I was obligated to make my statement and shut up, Katie." 2 years earlier, in 2014, show creator Shonda Rhimes seemingly addressed Heigl's exit and controversy surrounding the cast of the medical drama in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. "I don't put up with bulls or nasty people. I don't have time for it," Rhimes said of what she called her no a-holes policy. Justin Chambers, Dr. Alex Karev. After starring as Dr. Alex Karev for 16 seasons, ABC confirmed to People on January 10, 2020, that Chambers had left the beloved medical drama. "There's no good time to say goodbye to a show and character that's defined so much of my life for the past 15 years, Chambers said in a statement to People. "For some time now, however, I have hoped to diversify my acting roles and career choices. And as I turn 50 and am blessed with my remarkable, supportive wife and 5 wonderful children, now is that time." Throughout the years, fans grew to love Alex Karev, an egotistical medical intern who blossomed into a nurturing pediatric surgeon throughout the seasons. Because Chambers' last episode aired on November 14, 2019, he was absent from the mid-season finale, and it was explained that he was taking care of his ailing mother. The character did not get a send-off episode. After months of wondering, it was later revealed that the reason Karev left Seattle and his wife, Dr. Joe Wilson, Camilla Luddington, was to move to Kansas to be with his ex-wife, Izzy Stevens, and their 5-year-old twins. T.R. Knight, Dr. George O'Malley. The medical drama launched Knight's career, but in July 2009 he left due to an ongoing breakdown of communication with Rhimes. After getting only 48 minutes of airtime, versus the 114's character received, in the first 9 episodes of Season 5, he asked to leave the show. "My 5-year experience proved to me that I could not trust any answer that was given," Knight told Entertainment Weekly of his character at the time. In February 2017, though, he returned to Shondaland in the Season 2 premiere of The Catch, and in December 2020, he appeared in an episode of Grey's during one of Meredith's dream sequences. His character's exit came in one of the most heartbreaking and shocking moments of the show. In the Season 5 finale, a John Doe was rushed to the ER following a bus accident while saving a pedestrian. The doctors struggled to identify him until he traced 007 in Meredith's palm, a nickname that revealed it was George. Chyler Leigh, Lexie Grey. Fans were heartbroken when Chyler Leigh's exit in 2012 meant Lexie Grey being killed off at the end of Season 8, in what will go down in history as one of the most tragic episodes of the medical drama. After she and several of her colleagues were victims of a plane crash that occurred while on their way to perform surgery, Lexie died from her injuries while being trapped. Following the episode, Leigh told TV Line that after making the decision that Season 8 would be her last, she met with Rhimes to work together to give Lexie's story appropriate closure. "I am very lucky to have worked with this amazing cast and crew for 5 seasons, she continued. "My experience on Grey's Anatomy is something that I will treasure for the rest of my life." Much like Knight, Leigh reprised her role in Season 17 through a series of dream sequences. Viewers held out hope that Dr. Mark Sloan, Eric Dane, aka McSteamy, would survive the injuries he endured from the fatal plane crash that killed his love interest, Dr. Lexie Grey, in Season 8. However, early on in Season 9, Dr. Sloan died after his best friend Derek Shepherd, Patrick Dempsey, and Callie Torres, Sarah Ramirez, the mother of his daughter, decided to take him off life support. While that was the reason for his character's departure on screen, behind the scenes, Dane reportedly left after being offered a role on the series The Last Ship, which he starred on until 2018 when the show ended. Grey's Anatomy is a world. It's not about any one individual actor, and the storylines were sort of, heading in different directions, Dane told Entertainment Weekly in 2013. So it was an opportunity for me to go, and I was interested in something different. I loved doing Grey's Anatomy. I would have done it until the final episode, but this was something I couldn't pass up. At the time, Rhimes also spoke to TV Line about his departure, saying, "After much consideration and conversations, he and I have decided that this is the right time for his storyline to end. We're a big family here at Grey's with a long history together, and Eric will always remain an important part of our family." Patrick Dempsey, Dr. Derek Shepherd, aka McDreamy's death in a car accident shocked fans of the show, unless they got their hands on an early issue of Entertainment Weekly. Hours before his final episode aired in April 2015, EW subscribers received the week's issue, containing an exit interview with Dempsey, earlier than planned. Fans erupted over the spoiler on social media and put together an online petition, which garnered 100,000 signatures, to bring back his character. It was clear we were both ready. But we kept it very quiet. Dempsey revealed to people of his and Rhimes' decision to let the actor go in 2016. With no table reads, the actor said no one knew how his character would perish. "I knew he was going to be gone, but I didn't know how she was going to handle it. Shonda just said, I'm going to do it in a really good way, and she did her thing." Fans were in for a reunion made in heaven, literally, when Dane, Dempsey, and Knight made guest appearances during Season 17. Sarah Ramirez, Dr. Callie Torres. Show creator Shonda Rhimes admitted she felt surprised after Ramirez announced their departure on social media in May 2016. "I found out maybe 3 days before you guys found out," the producer said at Vulture Festival in New York City that year. This departure, indeed, was different from all the others. It wasn't a big planned thing. I had a different plan going, and then Sarah came and said, "I really need to take a break." In Season 12, their character was written off when Dr. Callie Torres moved to New York with her girlfriend, Penny, Samantha Sloyan. Jessica Capshaw, Dr. Arizona Robbins, and Sarah Drew, Dr. April Kepner, Jessica Capshaw, who played beloved pediatric surgeon Arizona Robbins, and Sarah Drew, who portrayed quirky trauma surgeon, confirmed on X in March 2018 that neither would be returning for Season 15. Drew then shared a message on Instagram reminiscing about her time on the show and thanking the cast and crew. "My 9 years on Grey's Anatomy has forever shaped and changed me. I grew as an actor and as a human. I developed beautiful lifelong friendships," Drew wrote. "I found my voice and learned how to collaborate creatively with our incredibly talented group of writers and with our leadership." Capshaw shared her own tribute on social media, specifically highlighting the significance of her character, Arizona Robbins. "For the past 10 years, I have had the rare privilege of not only playing Arizona Robbins, but also being madly in love with playing her," Capshaw wrote on X. She was one of the first members of the LGBTQ community to be represented in a series' regular role on network television. Her impact on the world is permanent and forever. Forever, she added. I am sad to see her go, but I am consoled by the idea that she will continue to live on in all of our consciences and our imaginations. April was written off after a near-death experience that inspired her to leave Grey Sloan and focus on volunteering at a clinic for the homeless, while Arizona's exit was framed by her moving to New York with her daughter, Sophia, to be with her newly single ex-wife, Callie Torres Ramirez. However, Drew later reprised her role in a 2021 episode, while Capshaw made a guest appearance as Arizona in a 2024 episode. Isaiah Washington, Dr. Preston Burke. Isaiah Washington left the show after using a gay slur to refer to co-star Knight during an on-set spat in the fall of 2006, prompting Knight to come out as gay. Though Washington apologized, he used the term again in January 2007 to deny the incident to reporters at the Golden Globes. That June, after his character broke off his engagement to Dr. Christina Yang and didn't appear in the Season 3 finale, ABC confirmed that Washington wouldn't return to the series. In 2014, Washington returned following O's decision to leave the show. The reason for his comeback, according to Grey's Anatomy creator Rhimes, had to do with closure for the actor's characters. I feel like there have been a lot of people that have been like, how can you do this? And I feel very strongly and fully believe in people's ability to grow and change and learn from their mistakes, and when they know better, to do better, Rhimes told Entertainment Weekly. If people don't think that over the course of 7 years, it's possible for a human being to change, then there really is no future for the human race at all. Sandra Oh, Dr. Christina Yang. Oh played fan-favorite Dr. Christina Yang, a surgical intern turned cardiothoracic surgeon, and of course Meredith's person, for 10 seasons before announcing her exit in 2013. Her character left Seattle after accepting a prestigious job running a cardiothoracic department in Switzerland, which was offered to her by Burke, her ex-fiancé. Although O's character has been kept alive and mentioned throughout the show since her exit, the actress has been adamant about not returning for a cameo. I love that. I love that people are still fans, she told Entertainment Tonight in April 2024 of viewers wanting her to reprise her role. I love that you asked me that because Christina Yang is, of course, near and dear to my heart. But, I will say, not anytime soon, my love. Oh explained that she hopes fans feel like I did my job, which is that I brought to life a character, and she had a growth over 10 seasons, and that it was true. She was ready to move on, and so have I, Oh said. Giacomo Gianniotti, Dr. Andrew DeLuca. After first appearing as Dr. Andrew DeLuca in Season 11, Giacomo Gianniotti left the show in Season 17, when his character died on the operating table after being stabbed while trying to expose a sex trafficker. As tragic and as sad as that is, it was a way to have him highlighted as a noble character, he told People in March 2021 after the episode aired. He went down fighting for what he believed in. The actor explained to Entertainment Weekly that it wasn't necessarily his decision to leave. Instead, showrunner Krista Vernoff and executive producer Debbie Allen called him into their office and proposed the storyline to him. They're like, look, we've worked it a million different ways and we love you so much, you've given so much to the show, especially with this mental health story that we've been through with this character who's so beloved by fans, and it's helped so many people who are suffering mental illness, but this storyline just keeps coming back to us, he recalled. Grey's Anatomy. Are Teddy and Joe in trouble in fall finale? The latest episode of Grey's Anatomy seemed to be the calm before the storm. The mid-season finale preview hints that things are going to get dangerous for both Joe Wilson and Teddy Altman. Things were eerily calm on Thursday's November 7th newest episode of Grey's Anatomy, and it looks like it might have just been the calm before a big storm. The episode followed Joe Wilson, Camilla Luddington, as she dealt with a difficult obstetrics patient who didn't want an epidural or a cesarean section, even as her baby was breached and having dangerous decelerations. At the same time, Joe and Atticus Lincoln, Chris Carmack, had a small disagreement over whether to rush to baptize their own babies after the twins are born, despite the fact that neither of them are religious. Meanwhile, Benson Kwan, Harry Shum Jr., and Jules Millen, Adelaide Kane, decided to take it upon themselves, against Miranda Bailey's, Chunder Wilson wishes, no less, to track down a clinic patient who'd been a no-show but who they rightly believed to be in desperate need of medical attention. And Simone Griffiths, Alexis Floyd, treated a woman who knew her mother when she was younger and told stories about her life that she'd never gotten to hear before. The episode ended with the cliffhanger of Jo believing her water had just broken, which meant it could be baby time for the Wilson Lincoln brood in the upcoming fall finale. Judging by the preview for the next episode, When I Crash, it isn't going to be an uneventful delivery process for Jo. In the teaser embedded above, we see that while her babies look good on the ultrasound, Jo experiences shortness of breath, and Ben Warren, Jason George, summons Winston Dugu Anthony Hill onto the case. Dugu warns a terrified Link. Her heart is failing. After a whole summer of worrying about Link surviving the big explosion, who could have expected that it would be Jo who might truly be in harm's way this season? Elsewhere in the video, we see that Teddy Altman, Kim Raver, too might be in trouble after she assists her soon-to-be ex-husband, Owen Hunt, Kevin McKidd, with a patient who's trapped under a bus, and Teddy decides to scoot under the very unstable vehicle, just as it begins to shift and possibly crash down on her head. The episode, which airs on Thursday, November 13th, will mark the mid-season finale for Season 22, so count on it to be an event episode indeed. The series will return with new episodes again for its mid-season premiere on January 9th. What to watch Thursday: ABC Fall Finales, Mormon Wives returns, Beast and Me premiere, and more. Every day finds What to Watch column spotlights new and returning English-language shows and select movies, premiering or airing fresh episodes across broadcast, cable, and streaming, organized below by release time and alphabetically within each slot. On TV this Thursday, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives returns, Claire Danes headlines The Beast and Me, and 911, 911 Nashville, and Grey's Anatomy go on hiatus. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.